7th District. You guys probably are familiar with some of the big names. There's some big names, big money in the race. I'm not one of those, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I'm not a career politician, that I've never run for anything before. What sets me apart from the other candidates is that I am a veteran. I was proud to go serve the country in Iraq in 2007 and 2008 with the United States Navy. We did a boots on the ground Army job, but we were, want to move over here? Smoke keeps following me. But we did detainee operations in Iraq, so I was proud to go serve in Iraq, and I want to go serve the country in Washington, D.C. Serving in Iraq actually was a great preparation for being in Washington, D.C. because I had to keep some pretty tough people locked up and under control, and that's what we need in Washington, D.C. We need people that, that'll go up there with backbone and keep our politicians under control up there, the ones that want to spin us into oblivion and they want to take over every aspect of our lives. We need someone that's going to go up there and stand up to them, and that's one thing that I can do. And not being a career politician, I'm not beholden to anybody, I'm not owned by anybody, any lobbyists, any corporations. I'm just me. And I stay true to my conservative roots, my conservative upbringing. I grew up in the South. I've been in the Ozarks for the last 11 years, but I grew up in Middle Tennessee. I was raised with very conservative Christian Southern values, and those have stayed with me throughout my life. In addition to being a veteran, I teach economics at OTC there in Springfield. I'm proud that I've taught economics for the past 15 years. I've studied it for 20 if you go back to when I was a sophomore in college and decided to get one of my degrees in economics. I have 2 degrees, undergraduate in political science economics. I have a master's degree in business administration with a concentration in economics, and then I have a postgraduate degree in education. I've got some doctoral hours in statistics. So I've got a well-rounded education. I've worked really hard to get through school and get my college degrees and found a career in higher education. But that too has prepared me because I've got that tremendous knowledge base that's needed in Washington, D.C. Sometimes I wonder if some of our politicians have even taken an economics course. The way that they spend our money and the way that they want to take over the government, to take over the economy and take over control of our lives. I think most of them need to go back and take Economics 101 again. So I've got that knowledge base, I've got that backbone to stand up to the people that are trying to take control over too much of our lives. And I've also got the fact that I'm not that career politician that's beholden to people or beholden to special interests. That's not me. I want to go and serve the people. I was motivated to run initially when Roy Blunt decided he was going to run for the United States Senate, but I had been pondering getting into politics long before that once I got back from Iraq and I noticed everything that started happening in the country. In fact, when I came home, the weekend that I came home from Iraq, it was the weekend that Hurricane Ike, the remnants of Hurricane Ike, kind of came through the Ozarks. We had a lot of wind. We didn't have a lot of rain out of it, but a lot of wind. And then that following Monday is when the economic storm started. Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy that following Monday, and then the rest is pretty much history now. That's when the fallout from the mortgage crisis really started to hit us really hard. I knew everything the government, every action they were taking. At that time it was the Bush administration, but the actions they were taking were the wrong approach to getting our country back on track. We can't continue to reward failure or bail out companies that make poor decisions. We have to let companies fail because we can't socialize risk, otherwise there's never going to be any consequences for bad decisions. And how do you decide which companies get bailed out and which companies don't? One of the examples I point to is we bailed out a lot of the big insurance companies like AIG, we bailed out General Motors, but what about Circuit City? There were 30,000 people that lost their jobs with Circuit City and nobody bailed them out. So it becomes unfair to bail out one company and not bail out all of them. So I just don't think you should bail out any of them. There will be other companies that will come in and buy up the assets from failed companies and we'll move on. That's the way it should be. That's the way a free market system works. So knowing that the government was taking us down the wrong road motivated me to want to get into politics, and then this door opened up just a couple of months after that when Roy Blunt decided to run for the Senate. I was the 3rd candidate that jumped in the race. I've been in the race for almost a year now. I made my announcement on April 21st of 2009, and I was the only candidate after Billy Long and Jack Goodman, and since myself, now that there are 9 on the ballot, there have been 6 more that have jumped in the race. but I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm in it to win. A lot of people told me, being an outside candidate without name recognition, without a lot of experience, they told me if you don't raise $500,000 and you don't have that name recognition, you're not going to win. But I'm out to prove them wrong. I think you can win a congressional race by substance and ideas and